TF2 is probably my vote for the greatest game ever made, and it's my second favorite game of all time. Sorry if you're a TF2 fan and just found this, because it will probably be a while before the next TF2 video. Halloween is kind of my crossover day. You might be asking what's so scary about that. It's the scarily low amount of views I will get. But I'm passionate about TF2, so I thought I'd do a review of this year's Halloween update. I haven't played TF2 in a bit since I've been busy with other games, so forgive me if my gameplay isn't perfect. Overall, I was mixed on this update. It was also a little unpolished. Unfortunately, TF2 has been abandoned for a while now, but from what I remember, the winter update last year was really good, so there isn't really an excuse. Before I get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say that a lot of this is just nitpicks, since you could just not play on the bad maps, but in a review you kinda have to take that stuff into account. The cosmetics were pretty good. There wasn't a lot of gimmicky stuff. I like the two-face demo cosmetic, fitting for Halloween. My favorite is probably the Seer. I don't know, it just looks really good. Now onto the main thing, the maps. I really enjoyed Dark Marsh. I thought it was just a super well-made and just fun map. It isn't carried by a gimmick. The dark castle theme is simple but effective. I also like the royal carpets and the shack. Starting off with the shack kind of gives off the impression that it's a peasant uprising or something, and they hired mercenaries to fight for them. I don't know the actual lore for this map, but that's my headcanon. And again, every corner of the map is designed super well. There are good spots to put all your buildings. There are multiple spots where you can get the high ground, and there are a lot of alternate paths. The spells and health packs are placed well. The only minor issue I have is that pushing last can be annoying, but that's an issue with a lot of maps, so I'm not weighing it too heavily. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite maps in the game. Valve, please add more stuff like this. This map isn't too spooky either. I'd like if they made a normal version of it, because I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. Enough being positive, let's get angry. Blaze Hatton is completely okay. I just think it could have been executed better. To sum this up, there's a reason the bots in MVM aren't controlled by actual players. Aesthetically, it's pretty good. It's the MVM map Manhattan, but orange. And all the props fit with the zombie apocalypse setting. Let's go over the actual gimmick. If one of the living dies, they become a zombie. Zombies obviously don't have weapons, but each class has its own ability. Heavy takes less damage, Pyro can shoot fire, Sniper can spit acid, etc, etc. My issues with the zombies isn't that they're underpowered. In fact, the team balance is pretty good. Much better than I was expecting. But being a zombie just isn't very fun. I'm not sure if other people think this, but again, I just didn't find it fun. Basically, only having melee combat isn't as fun as having actual weapons. I used to do fists only heavy as a meme. I had a lot of fun with that, but as an official game mode, I don't think it works. And without upgrades like MVM, it just isn't as fun. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 or 6.5. Freaky fair. The main gimmick doesn't fucking work. Having MVM upgrades in a normal map is a great idea, but they need to function. I'm not gonna harp on it too much longer, but just know I'm docking a couple points for this. But the map itself is fine. It's honestly pretty forgettable. I like jumping around to scout on the central control point. This also has a lot of paths, but it's a little confusing this time. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I'd occasionally get lost. This is just kind of overwhelmingly forgettable. It's not super fun to play either. 5 out of 10. Would be a 6.5 or maybe a 7 without the bug. Also, this could be a me thing, but the frame rate was significantly reduced here. I didn't notice it at all besides the occasional stutter, but if you're used to playing on 400 FPS NAS computers, that might be an issue, I don't know. Again, I didn't even notice. Toxic. This is another basic map, as in a map without a gimmick, but I like having more standard maps mixed with the gimmicky ones, especially if the gimmicks don't work. But hey, it's still fun. It's not as fun as Dark Marsh, but it isn't bad. Aesthetically, I think it's solid. I don't remember rain being on many other maps, and I like the green gas. It's a nice contrast with the gray, and it has enough alternate paths to be interesting. You can travel immediately to the other team's spawn. And that's kind of funny, but it's not broken since you're far away from their actual spawn doors. One part I'm mixed on is this. I don't think it's awfully designed or anything. I just don't like the drop point. It's right between two walls, so backing up can get you stuck and then you just die. But besides that, it's fine. Too much of it is cramped. That's probably my biggest issue. Still not a huge deal. I had a lot of fun on this map. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I can see why it's so popular. Not one of my absolute favorites though. Okay, I realized I forgot to mention the alternate dimension. You go in this portal and then you go into a maze. I don't think the maze is very fun because there are a ton of dead ends. Okay, next map. Outburst. Okay, spoilers. I don't like versus Sexton Hale. I'm not gonna go super in depth, but just not as fun. I've always preferred times 10. And what do you want me to say is the loop. It looks like hell, and I like the healing spring. I don't think that's on any other map. You run in a loop and spam attacks. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because the main issue is the mode itself and not how the map is designed. Circus is another map that's just too cramped, and I like having some room to breathe, but the lack of alternate paths kinda hurts. There are a couple, but it feels like there's only 2, and it being a circle doesn't really help. I'm just not a fan of the layout. The gimmick also isn't too exciting in my opinion. Occasionally you could jump into this portal where you have supercharged firing and reload speeds, and I believe you move faster too. Might be a me thing, but it's kinda weird to play this. I always just hold the fire button down because that's the only way I feel like I'm taking advantage of the extra speed. And then I get stressed about missing all the time, so then my aim gets thrown off even more. Again, could be a me thing, I just avoid these portals. Then you could jump through this hoop which refills your health. That's nice. You gotta be careful not to hit the actual hoop itself though. It's fine enough. I just don't like the layout. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 though, because I still had some fun on it. The final map is Dynamite. Okay, I'll be honest, I wasn't able to play this. I really tried to get into a game with it, but I just couldn't. I even tried making a bot game, so I can't give a full review. Sorry about that. From what people are saying, it seems like a good concept with bad execution, which kind of fits with a lot of these maps. If I had to give it a rating based on pure instinct, I'd give it a 5, but that isn't official. Like I said, I'm a little mixed. Playing TF2 after a break was really nice, and maps like Dark Marsh and Toxic were great, but a lot of the maps were just kinda okay, and a lot of it felt lazy, which you come to expect from Valve. But actually analyzing maps like this in a video, instead of just playing the best ones over and over, made that settle in. And overall got a 6.67 out of 10, excluding Dynamite obviously, but Halloween is always fun. You also have the old maps, just in case you don't like the new ones. If I wasn't doing a review video, I would have said this was very good. But looking at all the content, I don't know if I could say that. I'd give this update a 7 out of 10. That's all I have to say. I made this video very close to Halloween, so sorry if it's a bit short. Bye.